Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome everybody to another Spiritual Rockstar Podcast show. We are ready to rock today. We got Meg Calvin here, and she is magical. She really is. She knows how to tune in. She knows how to track energy and strategy and bring the best out of anybody and everybody, and have you pouring forth like what source wants to share through you, through your writing, through your expression in the world, and to be able to capture the essence of who you are and all that good stuff. She's going to give you tips and support to be able to get on the spiritual side of this whole thing, integrate that, of course, with making it all practical ultimately. But we're going to have a great time navigating the whole thing. Can't wait to dive in with it with her today. So hello, Meg.
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for having me on your awesome show. I'm super stoked to help people out there with their first book or their fifth book.
Right, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, whichever one.
Whatever one. Okay, so Meg Calvin is an Amazon best-selling author, speaker, and coach who helps writers do the deep spiritual work to market and sell their Amazon best-selling books. How about that? She does the deep spiritual work, right? This is deep spiritual work. She is best known for her intuitive gifts, unconventional practices that help writers become creatively unblocked, and her award-worthy performance as a tree in a Midsummer Night's Dream as a third grader. It's funny you brought that up in here because I did not get any awards, but the simple one thing I ever did, I was the rabbit or whatever in the Winnie the Pooh when I was a little kid. So I've been wanting to get back into acting ever since, I think, but I just never have done it. So it's on my list. I'm like, gotta get back in it. Okay, I've got to get into it. And so I appreciate you added that in. That brings us back into it, helps us remember, right? Helps us remember who we really are. And what were you doing when you were in third grade? Well, like it reconnects us to the part where, yeah, I can do anything. I could be that tree, or it could be whatever, like someone, whatever, I could be anything, and that a lot of us were connected with that at some level when we were younger. And then as the ideas come in, well, not everybody could be like that. Not everybody could be a writer. Not everybody is creative. Not everybody could possibly be worth listening to. And it goes on and on. And when we had no such ideas, most of us anyway, when we're very little. So Meg, what happens to us? What is it? Why is it this? Let's tackle the big, pink elephant in the room right away. Why is it so many people feel unworthy, unable to be able to even write the book, much less bring a book out into the world? Let's go right after that one first, because that'll all take us into the deep spiritual aspect of all this. Yeah.
Yes. So if I heard you right, you want to explore the question of why people feel unworthy to write a book.
Yeah. Why do people struggle with it? Obviously, people do. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to write my book. And then and even for me, I just never know. Like I get book ideas and start writing them, and I finish an ebook. I'm in a book and a collection of people and all that. But at some point, it's like for me, I did it. I did a book. I got this book out there. We didn't even bestsellers, and that's great. I think that's great. I just know like it would feel good, but I got to feel like it's the right move for me to make in my case, right?
Yes.
Yes. But what for other people, it's more like, oh my God, that'd be way too big of a thing, and I'm so worried. I have some of those concerns too, but more so, I'm already in print, so I mean, I've been out there a lot. It's not that so much for me. It's more like practical things and whatnot, but other people like, oh my God, I know exactly what book I'm supposed to bring forth, but oh man, who would listen to me, and am I worthy, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So after 7 years of working with publishing companies and 3 years of running my own coaching business and serving 37 clients, this is what I've noticed. There are 4 very common causes of writer's block that hold us up from moving forward toward our book goals. And one of them is my book idea is not original. It's already been done by a big name author out there, and he or she wrote it way better than I ever would. So that limiting belief is a huge cause for writer's block and from preventing the writer from moving forward. So how we get over that block, does that serve for me to share a tip around that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into that. Yeah.
Cool. So one way around that is coming home to the spiritual truth that we are all connected. We see this in sacred texts. We see it in quantum physics, that energy follows thought. And what we see from that spiritual truth is if there is an idea within someone to write about, just an example, to write about the grief that they felt after their divorce, that idea is in there because someone outside of them is desperately hungry and waiting for someone with that author's exact set of skills, style, scars. Pardon my new Invisalign if it's making my S sound funny, but they're someone outside, the longings, the needs, the hunger of someone outside of us, in a sense, put that idea within us, and it needs to be done. And now the originality factor comes up whenever we take our idea and we curate it through the lens of our unique scars, skills, style, an idea. We have something new, totally new under the sun. And so when we come home to these spiritual truths, that helps us get past that block of everything's already been done. My book's already been written. And so I'll pause.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. Well, it hasn't been written by you, right? So like you said, we're all unique. Like you could talk about the exact same thing. Two people, right? Like two people could talk about the same, it could like even recite the exact same words, right? And we're going to have totally 2 different transmissions. We could both be even told, write this exact book, word for word. We already have the book, but we want you to write it. Then when we want you to publish it, and it's going to get 2 different responses, even with the exact same words, same cover, everything. Believe it or not, it'll get 2 different responses. There's energy underneath there, folks. Like it's different. It's different. And then once you start, and it's not going to be that anyway, like you're going to have a totally different take on things, even if some of the information might be the same. It's a different vibration as you bring it forth. It's a transformational journey of you bringing it forth, and the way that shifts energy within you and then the planet and for the readers, right? So all those things are critical.
So critical. Yes. Another common point of writer's block, or another thing that prevents writers from moving forward, is they have forgotten how to be still, how to be introspective. And 2 ways to get over that block is arrange your write time to happen right after you've done something that got your heart rate up and gave you a dopamine rush or an adrenaline rush. Get all your heart rate up. Maybe it's exercise, whatever that is for you. Do that thing and then go to write. That's one tip. And that's partnered with using apps like Insight Timer or Headspace, or if you have an iPhone, using the Pause app, and getting in the practice of coming home to your breath, coming home to yourself, getting comfortable with yourself. And those tips help people who have forgotten how to be still. Now, I hear you. I hear some people that are listening to this and they're thinking, but Meg, you don't know me. I have the energy of a squirrel on crack. I am an extreme extrovert, and I'm in a job that honors the way I'm wired, where I never have to sit still. So what's another tip for me? Because I'm super high energy. So my tip for you person who's thinking that right now would be to explore the apps like Otter or Speechify, or using the microphone option on Google Docs, where you can speak your book into being, and then Speechify will read it back to you. And so you can be walking, you can be nursing a baby, you could be folding laundry, whatever it is, you could be at your nice, sleek stand-up desk and never have to sit and also work on your book. So that would be the tips for the block that is, I have forgotten how to be still and to be introspective.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine, yeah, these are all the different things you've heard from people.
Oh,
I
oh
guess
yes.
still enough to write a book, forget about that. So I got too much going on in my life, all those things. So it's really the spiritual side, because it's like, okay, it reminds me of asking people to meditate. Like,
Hmm.
okay, start meditating. All right, try meditating. That's all a bunch of nonsense. I can't sit still that long. All right, well, why don't you try, just being more still as you take your walk tomorrow morning? Why don't we start there? Okay, I'll give that a try. You know what? That worked out. I love these walking meditations. It's
Yes.
working for me. Everybody are doing while they do their qigong or yoga or whatever, whatever they're doing, drums. I've seen people do it so many different ways, riding a horse, or could
Mhm.
be all kinds of things that people do to get out of that connection. So yeah, there's so many different ways. And then right after you're out of those moments, like you said, you're in a clear space, you probably got some downloads, you're ready to write or speak. You would just speak it, like
Mhm.
you said.
Mhm.
I definitely tried that too, and generated some material for books as well. I just decided, okay, I'm not feeling like this is one to publish, but I got in the creative process with that, and I've done a lot of emails with doing a lot of speaking, because I got, let's mix it up. I'll just speak rather than write for a while, and
Mhm.
it could work out real well. I was concerned it wouldn't be good enough, but as it turned out, I think in some ways it was better. They both have
Mhm.
their advantages, but there's some advantage of just purely channeling it right through your voice as well. That's what
Mhm.
I've found. What have you found with all that?
Oh, yes, I agree. I agree 100%. Honoring that which wants to come through you, and not playing the should game on yourself. Like, this
Mhm.
is the trend that other coaches are doing. They are making a lead magnet book, and I should make one too, for into a funnel based on the book. No, no should. I say honor that which wants to come through you,
Mhm.
and where you feel most aligned is what is best for you and your business, and that makes you magnetic to your ideal audience.
Mhm. Right, right. So we've got the first two. You're giving people
Mhm.
some good tips here and ideas. How about
Yeah.
and I never heard of Speechify, so that's cool to
Mhm.
know. You could speak it, and it'll go ahead and play it back for you. That's kind of cool, because yeah, your first thought is, yeah, that's probably no good. Like, so that's good. And then how about the third one?
Yes. So the third one, this one, I know your audience understands when I use the word the divine feminine. This next one is very much around the topic of the divine feminine, and that is a common block for writers, regardless of gender and anatomy and sex and orientation, regardless of all the things.
Yeah,
Since an integrated person has both the divine feminine and the divine masculine and knows when to let which one lead.
right.
This is very common, and it is the writer has forgotten. And yes, I purposely said the writer. The writer has forgotten how to have fun, how to receive help, how to receive pleasure, because we know in the sacral chakra we have all things, that is where our creativity, our sexuality, our sensuality all come from, the same chakra. So they're all connected. So if we block one, we've blocked the other. And so you're probably thinking, where are you going with this, Meg? So here's where I'm going with this. What I have found in writers, two tips come to mind about helping them. Actually, this one thing to share just keeps dropping. So I think I should say it. Amy Poehler has a tip for us on this. Amazing comedic writer and comedian, as we all know. When she writes, she writes topless, which might make some of us feel uncomfortable. But if you get down to the spiritual truth of what she's doing, at least how I'm experiencing her when she does it, not that I've ever seen her,
Yeah,
but when I heard
there you are. You've experienced it. That's funny.
when I heard her give this tip to writers in an interview, what I heard her saying was, by doing that, she is tapping into and unblocking the sacral chakra. She's being sensual. She's taking a risk. So she's sending all those the yummy amount of dopamine and oxytocin through her body to help her create. She is being sexual, which we know, as we know, sexuality, creativity, same sacral chakra. She's releasing all of that and she's making it fun. She's getting her body involved. We could talk about somatics. So that's one tip that I wasn't thinking of giving, but it kept nudging me on the forehead to say that. The another example of someone I actually worked with, I had a client. He was retired military, now pastor, very, very intimidating presence. And he also was a people pleaser, an extreme people pleaser, which looks really good on paper if you are a pastor, speaking as a former one myself. Because he was a people pleaser, he had forgotten how to tap into the divine feminine within and receive nurturing and love and receive fun. And it was causing him huge writer's block. Not only could he not say no to people to make time to write or make time to market his book with social media, but when he would sit down to write, he couldn't tap in. He couldn't come home to himself. So his tip to have more fun, to make more space for the divine feminine, to unblock that sacral chakra of creativity and sensuality and sexuality. He had always loved to play the flute and he had given it up years ago. So along with posting homework for social media, along with his word count goal, we also added I hate the word assignment, but we added the exercise of he was going to play flute 15 minutes a day. Because when he played flute, he was playing, he was receiving the sensual gift, the all-consuming gift of music. He was breathing in a way that was comforting to him because you have to breathe well to play the flute. It was amazing. And once he made that 15 minutes a day of play a priority, it's all integrated, as I've been saying. And so it enhanced his ability to get back to writing and honoring his promises to himself to write. Because what happened when he played music? He self-sourced through the divine love. He felt love through music, and that helped him believe he was worth it. He was worth the time to sit down and write toward the promise of his book that he made to himself. And the last easy tip I'll give about making writing more fun, this is kind of unconventional like the other two, but I like to ask authors to think about if their book was a song that a DJ would play at the wedding, what song would their book be? So an author that I partnered with that wrote about a religious deconstruction and really stuck it to the man in his book, before he even started writing his book, he said that the book would sound like the song School's Out for Summer, done, right. Whatever band that is.
Right.
And so a practice to do is to think about the book, no matter what phase the book is in. You're on chapter 1 or chapter 15, whatever. Think about, if my book was a song, what song would it be? And then turn that song on and dance like nobody's watching, and dance like crazy in your office or your bed, wherever you are, in your car, and then go to write. And so that those 3 tips come to mind for if a writer has forgotten how to receive help, how to have fun, and how I'm forgetting the third one. That's basically, you know what I'm saying. That's the third common block.
Getting the creative flows going there for people. Yeah, that's interesting. Of course, the joke I was going to make at the end was, so you basically ask everybody to get naked to be able to write their books. That's just the course. Everybody get naked.
That's funny.
Like, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah, but there's so many different ways to open ourselves up. Yeah, that could be one way, right? But there's so many other ways. Like for me, I know I seem to be in a better creative flow. One of the reasons why sometimes I do like to do things like creating written pieces when I'm talking is because I'm walking, is what I'm trying to say. So because when I'm walking, there's a rhythm, there's a flow happening for me that's just not happening really the same when I'm just sitting down, So also sometimes when I do prayers, like when I get up and I start walking, that changes it. And it's more, can be more creative too, because then sometimes I'll jump up and down, I'll do all kinds of I'm moving all these different directions, and it could be a dance move, it could be all kinds of things, right? When we're praying, and it's really enlivening, and everybody can feel that, and if people are alive, they're like, whoa, let's get into that too, right? So it opens everybody up, that creative juice. And I just even remember yesterday being with a client, and I was being so in her words, I mean, I'm probably not entertaining to everybody, but since you're being so entertaining, you make me laugh so much. It's like it was healing in itself. Like she just kept laughing and laughing and laughing. But it opens up the creative juices within everybody, like laughter, right? So many things that hit that sacral chakra, like you're saying. And so I could see that totally. I mean, but the things you're sharing, I wouldn't have necessarily be sitting around thinking, yeah, okay, let me go get my trumpet or something. I mean, start with that, but not necessarily. So, but those are great tips. I mean, even just playing, yeah. If you're feeling inhibited, like I don't know if I want to do all that, because a lot of times people are like, let's just get to work and do it. It's all BS. I just get in there and like, okay, how about just turning on a little bit of music before you get started? Get the juices flowing and just feel that energy. You don't have to dance like crazy. Something, just something that shift things and shift into the creative mode. Sounds really great, and that there's so many paths. I love that. And be more in that energy overall in life just makes life more fulfilling anyway. So guys, go for it, right?
Yes. And you're exactly right. Whenever the body moves, the brain grooves, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And for that specific client with the flute, that was his way of tapping into the divine feminine, which turns us on for, the way I understand it and have experienced it, the divine, as writers, we get our inspiration, our muse, we receive that from the divine feminine, and then we push it out through word count goals and footnotes and genre and the rules of the genre through the divine masculine. And so both are needed. And so someone's way of tapping into the divine feminine and receiving that gift might not be instruments or music. It could be, they could have to go to a float tank or get a massage, feel healthy, safe touch to turn on the divine, to tap into that divine feminine. Because like me, for so many years, I was so living out of the divine masculine so much for every task that it was hard. It was really hard for me to reconnect with the divine feminine. And so you are exactly right. The flute, instruments, music might not be for everyone, but for him, that was his way of turning that part of himself back on.
Right. Yeah. So everybody's got their own way. So an excuse to play and have some fun, like I always say, like just to get the mind on board is more into survival and just get after it, get going, don't stop ever, just keep moving, and be focused, vigilant, just get the task done. What's good for the mind to hear is, listen, you'll be way more productive. You're going to get more rewards. People
100%.
love you. There'll be more good things coming, as a result, and you'll be in your body more. You'll be safer when you're in your body more, actually, because it's afraid, like, we have too much fun. All of a sudden, someone will come and just kill me or something. Like, no, it's good. You'll actually be more connected. You have to register that fearful part of our brain, right? And then so you had a fourth one too. So what's the fourth aspect here? Yeah.
So speaking of fear, the fourth most common block for writers that I see is a fear of rejection because of what they wrote, because the book they want to write is going to offend or hurt the feelings of someone that they love. And then if that person rejects them, if we go even deeper, if I am rejected, I am alone. And that is a deep, deep fear because we're humans and we want to belong. It's a primal need that we belong in a tribe of people. And so this is a really, really, really tricky one. We move delicately with this because it's a crossroads for authors. Because from my experience, it can be two different books at this point. It could be a book that we write with the belief that the person we're afraid of offending is on board with the book. And we, in that sense, we're going to commit to also having a sweaty palm conversation with that person. Not permission, but informing them of what we're writing about, forgiving them if we need to. It can be that kind, there can be that form of the book. Or there could be the second form of the book, the other side. If we take the other, if we go to the right of the crossroads, the other form of the book can be, I'm going to write this book in a way that I don't have to have a sweaty palm conversation with that person, whether that means I'm changing the name, I'm changing the gender, I'm not going to do a memoir. It's going to be fiction. There are two different ways you could go about that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to pause myself before I share the next thing. So in that situation of the author asking himself or herself or themselves, which of those two books do I want to do? How do I discern? What can be a helpful exercise is just experimenting with one chapter, and write one chapter as if the person you're most afraid of, say it's your mom. I'm afraid of hurting my mom's feelings. I'm afraid of offending my mom. This will break her heart. She'll have so much shame that she didn't protect me. These are common. These are things I've heard from clients. Let's write that chapter as if you and her have had this sweaty palm conversation, and she loves you. She supports you. She's so excited for your book. She has forgiven herself. She has come to peace with what happened, and she can't wait for you to write this book. Write that chapter. And let's notice how you feel writing it. Notice your bodily sensations. Notice your sense of alignment. Notice your sense of flow. Take notes of how you feel writing it. And then let's write the other chapter that is protecting your mom's feelings more than honoring that which wants to come through you. And notice your bodily sensations, your sense of alignment, your thoughts, your sense of flow. Does it come out? Which one comes out quicker? Which one feels better? Take note. And then we go from there. What I'm also feeling a sense to share, and this comes from my own experience as an author, not as a writing and marketing coach, is the opportunity for healing when we commit to writing a book. I always say my clients birth books and they birth breakthroughs, and that's integrated into every part of their lives, and it's beautiful. And I've experienced that with both books I've written, and now I'm starting my third one, and I'm already experiencing it, that there's going to be a breakthrough that happens. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity in my third book to the characters that are actual people in my life that I've been so afraid to tell the story because I would hurt them. I'm now realizing the amazing opportunity I have as a writer to give their character a beautiful arc, to give their character healing that mirrors what's happening in real life, to give them a resolution, to give them layers, to even the antagonist in my life. If I write her well, she herself will be loved because I will show all of her traumas. I will show all the things that she can't forgive. I will show what made her the antagonist. And there will be grace and there will be a resolution. And so there's so much healing that can happen through this, through doing the deep, brave work of wanting to heal that block of, oh gosh, I can't write this. This book keeps whispering to me, Meg. It's been whispering for 5 years, but I can't write it because it'll just break my dad's heart. It's like, oh, but if you do write it, you have the chance to heal within yourself, to help your dad heal. And as we already said an hour ago when the interview started, the idea is in you because someone outside of you wants to be helped by you in your book. And so there's this amazing opportunity to heal when we bravely try to break through that block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, I could see that because so yeah, whatever the book, I could see definitely if it's a memoir, right? People get in the, I know because you hear people, the Hollywood people and whatnot. Yeah, man, it took me forever to write that one chapter about my dad or whatever because they're worried about, getting it right in a way that doesn't offend too much. All that. So you're giving people creative ideas of how to approach it. Well, you could try it on that way, and then you could try it this way, and then it's more about like the personal transformation and also just noticing the deepening awareness of what's going on in there in the process. And like that's really cool. I mean, again, um you know there's I've had other people on before that are in the personal transformation with books, but everybody's got their own way of doing it too, like the different techniques, different ways. So this is a really kind of a really cool way of approaching it, realizing, okay, actually writing that chapter could totally transform my life, could be a huge healing breakthrough. And I think that is so amazing, Meg. That's really great work. Yeah.
And as you know to be true, the energy, the frequency of the creator stays in the creation. I don't know who said that. I've heard Rob Bell say it, but I don't think he said it first. But it is true. And I say that because I'm always careful with clients. If there's a vengeful energy with which they're writing, even if they're whistleblowing, if there's a vengeful energy, we make a point to clean that up before we write the book, because that I'm moving cautiously with this next part, but the truth is, no, everyone might, just going to say it, nobody pays for a train wreck. And so people want to read from other people that are aware of their wounds, but are also taking radical responsibility in their steps to make those wounds into scars. As Nadia Bolz-Weber says, teach from your scars, not from your wounds. And so I can think of some authors, I don't know why this just came to me, but never mind, I won't say that. I can think of some big time famous authors that totally rat out their ex-husband or something in their memoir.
Right.
And who does that serve? Who does it serve? And so if you're writing about something that someone or an event that really hurt you to your core, even if writing the book is collapsing time in your grief, be in a place where that energy is not vengeful when you're writing. And so your readers don't feel that, and then be taking steps to heal those wounds into scars so your readers feel that energy, especially if you are a coach or a speaker and you want the book to lead to more clients or more speaking gigs. People don't pay for a train wreck. They don't. They want to pay for someone that's taking radical responsibility for their life transformation. And please don't hear me, dear listener, please don't hear me saying you can sugarcoat away and don't place blame. Not at all am I saying that. You can tell the whole story. Yeah, I'll pause because I'm getting on a soapbox.
No, that's all right. So yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, that to say, well, you're not naming names, I'll name a name. Like we've got like Prince Harry or whatever, and I didn't even follow that stuff, but I heard about his book, and he's calling them all out, he's putting all that crap, and then he threatens the royal family, and if you don't start giving me the money I want, this is what I hear. I don't even know if it's true. You don't give me the money. True. Yeah, if you don't give me the money I want, I'm going to come out with more. I've got another book's even worse, and we're just going to keep going down this vengeful path, basically. And I think some people are very curious, so they're going to buy these books. But at the same time, there's equally a lot of people are like, oh my God, what an idiot! I'm just saying what people are going to think, right? What an idiot! What a wounded person! What a other expletives, right? At the same time, other people might be cheering him out. He's exposing the whole system, thank God. And so you'll have people on both sides, and some people say that's the way to go. Let's polarize, the market and all that stuff. And I even say that sometimes, for sure. but I think what you're saying, which is really important, is if you're a coach or a healer or, trainer or whatever, people aren't looking for that. They're looking for that in that market. I don't know if I would agree with that for healing for our humanity and the planet. Do I agree with it in terms of like book sales and how much money people are going to make and everything? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But ultimately, like for expansion of consciousness and healing,
Right.
100% what you said. Absolutely. And if you're a coach, healer, trainer trying to lead the way, 1 billion%. Absolutely. You're right. And then people aren't going to want to listen to like, yeah, they all screwed me over, but I persevere, those son of a guns. And there are people that do that. They talk that way. They get away with it though. Like I remember Robert Kiyosaki one time saying, those, I don't even know if I want to say the words, those son of a gun, they took my money, they did it. I forget, I can't blocked it out, but I just remember him like being really in a dark energy and like they took my money, I'll never let them take my money again, and whatever. And it's like, you hear the point, but it's heavy. It's not healing. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I totally love that you help people with that. You're helping them to be healed and then to transmit that healing and that healing consciousness out into the world. And couldn't we all use that more with books, but also, yeah, social media and everything. And I know I've gone unconscious. Like I just got criticized for a post that some people thought was mean and other people didn't think it was mean at all. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'll do better next time if I can, if that's true. I examine it, I look at it, and we have a chance to take a look at everything. But yeah, I think that that's a great tip though, is like just like, hey, don't just because I know people, and then I'll be quiet here soon. I say I'm getting on a soapbox with you here. So I'm
No,
like,
it's a really much needed soapbox topic.
but I know somebody who like probably, I don't know if they have written a book, but like an ex-client, like she could go on for centuries about all the injustice that's happened to her. And I'm sure a lot of it's true, but why not share the healing journey that's happened with it as well? Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
It's it's definitely a question worth staying in and a question continuing to always ask, because you're right. There's a target market for everything. There's
Mhm.
so many podcasts right now about people whining about church and religious deconstruction. So many. And there's an audience for that. That's awesome. And so be it. I'm pausing right now from what I want to say
You
next.
got an opinion on it. You want to get it in
I
there.
got
You're trying to stay in awareness and connection. And
yeah. I'm like, what's going to serve? And so that's it's very meta. This exact second is very meta, because I'm checking in right now and thinking
Mhm,
about my values that my
mhm,
business stands for.
mhm,
What's going to most serve my target audience? And then I check in. And if ever I do a post that I feel, ooh, I'm about to disrupt thought patterns, I'm about to rock the boat, but will it serve my target audience to their highest good? And if my answer is yes, I'm going to do it. If I
mhm,
can check in and say, this is going to offend people, but the people it's going to offend are not my target audience, and I'm in integrity, and I'm not in drama, and I'm
mhm,
not in the victim role. I'm also not in villain role. I
mhm,
am just disrupting thought patterns for the highest good of my target audience, who I'm very clear on who that is, then I'll post it. But
mhm,
just a minute ago, I paused from saying something because while it would have been funny, and I do value humor, what I value more is serving my target audience well. And so sitting in that tension of I'm about to do a post this week on my content calendar, sharing vulnerably about a panic attack I had 7 weeks ago. And I went back and forth on, do I want to share this? It brought up something that occurred to me when I was 14. I'm turning 37 this June. And I was on stage because I was in a musical with my daughter, and I had a panic attack, and I got home and just, I won't go into the whole story, but I cried, I meditated, I journaled with the 14-year-old version of myself. Um, spent a lot of probably 2 hours moving that, then talking to my coach about it. And I took 7 steps that I walk my clients through. Sorry if that sounded salesy. I didn't mean to, but I literally did. There were 7 steps that I took that I came home to my breath. I noticed what the story was. I noticed it was my 14-year-old self. I noticed it was something that she had to tell me something that it was time to heal. And so I shot a video about it and I cried in the video. And I thought, do I share this with the people I serve? What will they think if they see someone who claims to be very aware of their intuitive gifts, someone who claims to do deep spiritual work? What will they think if they see me being weak? And then I came home to the truth of it's we never fully arrive. There are some wounds that will always be healing, that will always get to heal. There will be lessons that we come back to review in our life. And in the video, I shared the steps that I took to move, to transmute that energy. How I did go, I had a great time in the musical. It was a huge success. I'm so thankful my 14-year-old self, that I listened to her, that I showed her I loved her and that I'm here for her. I went on to audition for something else and I got the role 2 weeks later. And I shared how I was, to beat a dead horse, I shared that I think I shared, my goal was that I shared that I modeled that which I try to help my clients become equipped with, which is panic attacks, moments of high stress are normal, especially whenever we're about to take a creative risk. And here are 7 steps you can take to transmute that energy. But I went back and forth because I value not being a train wreck. I like to be a train wreck to my husband, to my best friends, but never on social media because those are who I serve. And so I went back and forth on this one video. Yeah, I'll pause.
Yeah, I hear you what you're saying. It may not be, it may or may not be related, but like, yeah, we're talking about spiritual side of writing overall. Like for me, spiritual side of my expression, like I'm still on Facebook. Anyway, like I used to be, all my posts used to be, for some reason, I feel like saying I was knocked out of Facebook. Maybe I was hacked or something, like a lot of us, it happens to a lot of people. It's not that unusual, but I don't know, like my last post was, I love everyone and everything. It was during very decisive energy. Things were very divisive is what I'm trying to say, not decisive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's a lot going on, like, love, 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 love. And then my account got shut down. And I know, like, I had been thinking maybe I should just get off of Facebook. And then, and then manifested it, I guess. But I also thought at the same time, a paranoid mind said, oh, they probably don't want love. They probably shut me down. They're like, we don't want this love message when we're divisiveness. Anyway, so it's just kind of a funny aside. I'm not on my main point. But anyway, I got back on eventually. I was like, I kind of want to get back on. So I did it slowly, just build up friends again, even though I was basically kind of maxed out before. And I'm like, oh, start over, whatever. Just who cares? So I did that. And then all these years, all the way from the late 2000s when I got on there till now, till recently, like most of the time, very rarely would I ever do a controversial sort of post. And the minute, and sometimes when I did, and people started coming like, you don't understand, and whatever, like, God bless you all, because I mean, maybe I've done that before, but like, you don't understand, or whatever, nasty comments, maybe, or whatever. I just like, okay, I'm deleting the post then. I'm just going to delete the post. I don't need to deal with this. And then sometimes I go back and forth with some people and it got weird sometimes. But now, like, I'm making a commitment just for now. Who knows? I may stop, but I'm like, I'm making a commitment to make these posts around issues going on in the world that I just want to speak up on. I'm like, okay. And then I love that you said that. That helped me to remember what I'm doing. Like I did a very sarcastic post the other day that did offend some people, as it turned out. And I had no intention to do that, by the way. I didn't mean to offend anybody, but it did because it disrupted their thought patterns. It had them questioning their belief, right? The people that were upset were the people who are questioning their own belief. wait a minute, I don't know about that. There's nothing to see here, or how dare you? Don't you understand? This actually has been good for me, or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, okay, great. I mean, that's great. So then your mind questions, now that there's controversy, should I have made the post? Should I continue to make the post? And not only me, but my clients go through the same thing. You know, we run into, everybody runs into these things when you're more sensitive, conscious, or whatever. You are more sensitive to it. You know, you're not like, I don't care, hell with them, you know, just throw out anything out there. So I think there's utility in being willing to use your full voice in the world and open up that voice. And you can always edit it later. You can always improve later. And this fear, I always tell people, don't be afraid of getting canceled. That's one of the fears people have, right? We're gonna, reject you, persecute you, everything. You can't be afraid of it, you know. Otherwise, man, you know, that's not the point of it, right? All the fear is there to help you stand in your power and expression fully. And chances are, if you are, more times than not, you're probably going to be fine. You're going to be safe and secure because you're going to land in your body, etc. But if you get squirrely or weird about it, or too unconscious, of course, then yeah, maybe trouble comes your way. Gandhi had the idea in his head, someone's going to assassinate me. So either he had a premonition or he created it by continuing to think like someone's going to assassinate me, right? Because he always said, someone's going to kill me. And on that day, I will say I love them or something like that. And then he did that. So, I mean, I think that's one of the deepest fears always, is that I'll get it wrong and I'll be killed, right? I'll be killed for it. I'll be that persecuted. And we can't be afraid. I always tell like my healer friends, we've already done all those scripts. All right. We've all done those. We don't need to do it this lifetime, but we do need to really express ourselves and show up. So anyway, I've talked way too much, but I just
Not at all.
share a riff off of what you were saying. So
yes, as we learn from Dave Chappelle and other amazing comedians, the greatest humor is always at someone's expense. And so if you, like me, if you value wit and humor and that's part of your brand, then write boldly, be brave, knowing that the greatest humor is always at someone's expense. And I love to teach clients a 3-step tactic that we use on post in our comments if we do offend someone. And if they do speak up, and we can tell it's not just a troll who's just writing fart in the comment thread, like it's actually someone saying, I'm offended. You hurt me at a core level. And so there's a three-part post that I teach clients to write to respond to that situation, trusting their intuition, knowing that when they do respond, when they respond in that way, others see the post and it serves everybody. And they're not being a total jerk. They're showing empathy, but they're also standing on the truth of they're standing behind what they just shared. And so that's a pivotal part of my coaching, is how do I respond on social media when my content offends someone? And so I have a 3-step method for that I love teaching and that I love using myself for when I do content that does rock the boat. But I've done it from a place of integrity, and I've done it from a place of being very careful on, will this boat rocking serve my audience? Yes. Okay, then I'm going to post it.
Right. And I still think it vastly serves people, even though I get to have the fun of feeling like people are judging me. Oh, we thought you were really enlightened and spiritual. And so I'm like,
we thought you were boring because you were so enlightened. We didn't know you were funny too.
We thought you were more boring than this. Yeah. No, I'm not boring at all. I got more where I came from. So yeah, I love that you said that. So yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, my response was to do a live. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can do it, I'm sure, but I did a live response. Am I wrong? And I just riffed off and I said, I'm going to keep making these posts. I will be trying to be more aware all the way. I'm in a process here. I don't know if that's exactly what I said, but I'm in a process here like you all are. And, you know, I think it's a huge opportunity. Like, social media, if people were trained to use it in a conscious, evolutionary way, could be amazing for expansion of consciousness. Not to suppress and only write nice stuff, but to, when these things come up, to how to navigate it consciously. And so we all heal, we all expand more, no matter what's posted. Hey, you're right, you know, these people or whatever, like, hey, how can you use that for an opportunity for expansion of consciousness and love for that person, for everything? You know, it can be an opportunity. So hopefully, you know, people like me and you and more, you know, get on board and do more of that, and you know, help the people with that and train people to do that. And it's exciting. So anyway, yeah, there's all kinds of spiritual side of writing we're talking about here today. Books is a big one. I know you help people become Amazon bestsellers and all that stuff, and you know, to catapult their business and make more money and all that great stuff as well with their books. I also know that you've got a bunch of, you know, I don't know, you know, you've got a free gift, for example, and whatnot for everybody today. So I'd love for you to, you know, share with people, you know, what you got for them. We're going to share your website link here and everything. And yeah, I know you have that free gift. So if you could share about that, that'd be cool.
Yes, I am super duper, super excited for the synchronistic timing of this hangout session with you. I say that because it did not feel like an interview, and that is a compliment to the space that you hold for your guest. And I'm excited for the synchronistic timing of this time, this hangout session, because after 3 years of one-on-one coaching, I've just rolled out evergreen courses. So I have a $47 course, How to Outline Your Memoir, and a $47 course, How to Outline Your Nonfiction Book. And then it has yet to be priced, but I have everything that I teach in coaching sessions, except for the deep subconscious blocking, because that can't be a printable PDF. That has to be a one-on-one session. That has to be coaching. But it's the Prosperous Writers Boot Camp. It's 12 simple steps authors take to build their brand and get their book to Amazon bestseller. It's a video course. It's evergreen, like I said. And so that's been amazing to make. It rolls out next week. The $47 courses are already live. And it's in this new program, a friend of mine called this new software he developed called Social Glow. And Social Glow is the first online course house of its kind that gamifies online learning. So you get points for different things, and then you earn prizes. And it also isn't just online courses. I'm like doing an ad for Daniel Burge right now. I'm laughing. I had to share this interview with him that I'm basically doing an ad for his thing, but I do want to share it because it's amazing. But Social Glow, instead of before we had to do like Kajabi or Thinkific, and then to house our courses, and then we do our Facebook group for community with those that we're serving. Well, now Social Glow has both of those in the same place, courses and community. So that's been really fun. So those just rolled out. The Prosperous Writers Boot Camp, 12 simple steps writers take to write and market their Amazon best-selling book. And then the $47 Outline Your Memoir or Outline Your Nonfiction Book are out now, along with my most favorite part of what I do, this kind of thing, getting in the sacred space of one-on-one sessions and just shining the light of affirmation on amazing writers whose books are going to help heal. Okay, free time, free stuff. So if you are listening to me and you're thinking, that's cool, what she says sounds really helpful, I want free stuff from her. So go to megcalvin.com and get a free 20-minute video training, 3 ways to make marketing your book more fun and less frustrating. And you'll have it. That'll also put you on my email list, to no surprise, because that's what you do in this kind of business. Value up front. And then I get your email contact info so I can spoil you with more weekly free content in your inbox. So that is all the happenings and the free stuff.
So it's for the free one again. So what is it again? Just to explain that just one more time.
Yes. 3 ways to make marketing your book more fun and less frustrating. It's a free 20-minute video training at megcalvin.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the key, right? We talked about it as one of the keys is open up that sacral chakra. So you want to, you know, how can we do that? We talked about that a little bit today. This will give you more support with that. I'm like, yeah, we haven't even scared them, the people that may not know about this stuff, but are you going to sort out your ISBN numbers? And, what about the design of the cover, where we're going to get that done? Like, yeah, those things don't sound like fun, but how can you make the whole process funner? And
Hmm.
even maybe ultimately the details, how can we make it all funner ultimately? So, anyway, so that free gift will help you on that pathway, I'm sure. So, check that out with Meg. And, she's a passionate person, and she will keep sharing the good news about how to be more empowered and to be able to share your voice in the world in different ways, but primarily a big one is through the books, I know too. So, all right. So, Meg, that's great. And from there, then I'm gonna do some of the tuning in now, some of the energy scanning with you. So, you ready?
Okay. I was
Okay.
born ready.
Ready to receive. Okay, great. So let's go ahead, and things are already dropping in, but I'm going to just take a moment. Oh, that's a fun picture. So I just get like you're with, it feels like gold chains and stuff, and like it's almost like a necklace with a watch on it. You're like looking around, you're twisted this way and that way, and there's like coins all around you and everything. It makes a lot of sense with what we're talking about today. I think the more you lean into your lead magnet shows you're already leaning into it, but more, maybe even more, like there's this childlike creativity and fun that wants to be unleashed with in you, and you're there helping other people to do that. And I believe, even I haven't looked at your website, the last few weeks, probably looked at it before, but the more you I don't know, it's a theory, it'd be a theory we would flesh out, but that the more you lean into that aspect of how you help people, the more treasure that's gonna happen for everybody. Like almost like a pirate kind of we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna do the more you stand in your rebel soul and you help other people do that in a loving, conscious way at the same time, like, man, there's a lot of money coming in, lots of good stuff. Okay, let's see what else comes through. Um, I sort of get this vibe from you too, though, simultaneously, which is interesting, is that sometimes we talk about that we want to get to spiritually get to like zero, like the emptiness, the nothingness. And so I see a spiritual impulse inside of you to experience more of that, more of the spaciousness that you are, and therefore the sense of nothingness. So that feels like an important part of your path, because your energy opens and there's just more of you there, and there's less wounding, there's more celebration of the divine and everything, and you sharing that, sharing that with others, and your space opens for more clients, more opportunities. So a lot of it is subtracting for you on top of all the fun and play, but then there's like a subtracting, like how much less of me is required is one of the great mantras one of my teacher gave me. How much less of me is required? So I feel like that direction seems to be helpful for you, for your being. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay. So there's definitely fears around getting things right. I see the fears and the sadness around it. So again, when I say these things, a lot of times my guests are like, yep, and I've moved through a lot of it. Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm saying though is I still see it, and then it just like, because of the pressure to be perfect and get things right from a young age was on you in a certain way. That's where the rebel comes in. No, I can do it another way. I have to do it in this orthodox kind of strict way. So you've got that rebel soul, but that perfectionism is still around. And so it's like the nice thing about perfectionism is, for you, is it can be a grounding cord where it's like, okay, do want to get things right. I do want things to resonate and be the truth and all that sort of thing. But in a rebel way at the same time. So, like get that rebel yell song going in my head a little bit. Okay. So yeah, yeah, so it's funny. It's like, see sort of biker chick energy in that and all that. And, but yeah, it's just, yeah, it's already, see this energy just starts, you're very easy with your energy opening and shifting. And so, yeah, that's cool. I see shifts happen right away, maybe even talking about it. Cool. That's so cool. Everything that's coming through. All right. So I just need to pause. We can have you maybe comment on anything that stood out during the tuning in for you, Meg, today. Yes.
Amazing. Yes, such a sacred space. The synchronistic moment is I am reading this book by Joel Bennett, The Quest for Presence. It's blowing my mind. And he talks about no longer viewing time. I'm going to land the plane soon. I won't talk a lot, I promise. He talks about not viewing time on the dogs. Basically seeking treasures in every moment of every day. And so today I have literally been looking for treasures throughout the day. And whether it was this amazing conversation I had with a stranger this morning at the coffee shop, a random gentleman playing an hour worth of piano at the coffee shop while I was working, butterflies, 3 of them while I was walking. I saw the smell of honeysuckle. I connected with a brand new client this morning. I'm super excited to start her book next week. And so I was receiving all these as literal treasures. And so the fact that you use that was amazing. And there's a song right now that is my get pumped up song that I play in the morning. And it's by Ching 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 Goes the Money Tree. And it's a rap song. Every time I flow, money comes to me from the up, left, right, and up under me. And I have literally been singing it all day. So, the abundance, and I'm moving into that season, which took some healing after being a minister from age 17 to 32, where we thought poverty was Christian piety. It's been a transition the past 3 years of building a very profitable business and also receiving it. And so very synchronistic. And then the leaning into the fun. I have recently started an improv troupe in town. And that is unearthing and releasing that part of me that is it's essential. It's a huge part of my essence, which is ridiculous wit and humor and play. Very, very Robin Williams-esque at my core. We actually are both Cancer suns and Pisces moons, which is very fascinating to me to know that about me and the late Robin Williams. Anyway, so I feel I'm leaning more into that. And so your affirmation is very helpful to me. And then the subtracting was the main purpose and drive behind I've been other coaches have told me for years, you need to do evergreen courses. Every coach has a course. And no, my favorite part is one-on-one sessions. I want to be greedy with my client and just be him and I, or her and I, she and I don't want a course. And so I'm glad I shifted that, because I can now help more people with less time. And so I'm thankful for that subtraction to happen and my messaging to shift toward the Prosperous Writers Bootcamp course, instead of my messaging just being around my one my one package that has just been one-on-one coaching. And that subtraction is also going to free me up. As I said, I just started my 3rd book as an author. I've done 2. I wrote one in 2016 and one in 2018. And now I'm writing my 3rd one, and I'm on fire for it. I'm so excited, and I need space to do it and work with my own coach with it. So I am open and currently seeking that subtraction to take place to open up more space for my own writing. So you hit and then obviously, yes, you hit the nail on the head around the perfectionism, 100%. And so my own coach told me last week, you are an artist And artists are at their best when they know the rules well enough to bend them, which is actually a Pablo Picasso quote, but he was just quoting Picasso. And then this morning, my cover designer, who I partner with, Heather Paul, we were Zooming right before this time with you, and she quoted Picasso, the same exact quote again, know the rules well enough to break them as an artist. So you are exactly right. I'm still healing that perfectionist side of me that used to have the subconscious story of, I am only loved when I am perfect. I am only loved when I get it right. And I'm thankful I get to continue healing that wound.
Oh, awesome. I mean, that's so great. That's so great too for our listeners to hear it. So many people have that one. And, I know I probably have my own level of that. I know I have a huge inner critic, that's for sure. So, so if that's perfectionism, I guess I have some level of that as well. So, all right. Well, thank you for your reflections on that and for being you. And people want to check me out, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. I do have a Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation ready for you there. For those of you that would like me to tune in deeply to you, find the gold and abundance in you and get it activated. We start examining where that lives within you within the session and tuning in your chakras, your energy, your business, your purpose, and your gifts, and all of it, whatever wants to come through, the past lives, the future lives, even if we want to, whatever. We have fun, we play, we discover what needs to be discovered, we channel what needs to be channeled to start getting the foundation set and clear for you. And then there's opportunities to work further with me, but everybody experiences real deep value in getting these energy scan consultations. So if you're ready to rock, only then take advantage of the Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation at yoursacredpurpose.com. If not, you can just go ahead and take advantage of the free Meditate, Make Money meditation that when you use it consistently, it's going to have you feel amazing around money and opportunities, and turn that money energy on. Ask your guides what it is that wants to happen. Go through your chakras, open those up each day, and takes you through that whole process. So check it out and learn about the 4 ways to meditate, make money right there as well. So there's so many ways to let more in. Okay, at yoursacredpurpose.com. Okay, wonderful, Meg. So as we're wrapping up, any last words for the audience today?
I will end with quoting Rumi and saying, remember, that which you seek is also seeking you.
And so it is. Yes. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Meg. I really appreciate you. I really deeply grateful for you and then what you had to share today. So thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for the honor of holding space for guests. And I'm super stoked to help listeners that want to write books.
Awesome. All right. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in. Keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time.
Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.